Australia is located in the southern hemisphere between the Indian Ocean in the west and the Pacific Ocean in the east. With 7.6 million square kilometers, Australia is the sixth largest country on Earth. However, it has a population of only 26 million. The capital of the federal parliamentary monarchy is Canberra, which is located in the especially created Federal District. The country has no official language, de facto English is used, and the main religion is Christianity. Australia consists of the main island, the island of Tasmania in the southeast, and various small islands in the two oceans. It has no land borders. Neighboring countries are Indonesia, East Timor, and Papua New Guinea to the north, and the French territory of New Caledonia and New Zealand to the east. The western half of Australia is dominated by the Western Australian Plateau. This includes the Hamersley Range and the MacDonnell Range in the center of the country. Along the entire east coast, the Great Dividing Range runs in a north-south direction. In the south of the mountain range, in the so-called Australian Alps, lies the highest mountain in Australia, with 2,229 meters. In addition, off the coast in the northeast lies the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest collection of coral reefs. In the north, the climate is tropical. For the most part, it is a tropical savanna climate with a dry season in the winter of the southern hemisphere. This is followed by a semi-arid steppe climate, which eventually changes to a very dry desert climate that dominates large parts of the interior. In the southwest and parts of the southeast, a summer dry Mediterranean climate prevails, while on the east coast, a year-round humid subtropical east side climate is found. Finally, parts of the south and the island of Tasmania belong to the oceanic temperate climate zone. Due to its geographically isolated location, Australia has numerous animal species that only occur here, such as koalas and kangaroos. With a population density of only 3.5 people per square kilometer, Australia is one of the most sparsely populated countries on Earth. However, since the interior consists of deserts, this part of the country is almost uninhabited and the population is mainly concentrated on some coastal sections, especially in the southeast. The largest cities are Sydney with over 5 million inhabitants, Melbourne with almost 5 million, followed by 3 other cities with over 1 million inhabitants, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. The most populous of the Australian states and territories are New South Wales with 8 million inhabitants and Victoria with 6.5 million, so that about 60% of the population lives in these two states. Australia is considered a typical immigration country. While in the first half of the 20th century attempts were made to limit immigration to the white Europeans, today many immigrants come from Asian countries. About 30% of the population is foreign-born. Australia's indigenous population, the Aborigines, now make up only about 3% of the total population. Australia has a highly developed economy, and despite its relatively small population, it is one of the 20 largest economies in the world. Its most important trading partner is the People's Republic of China. Agriculture accounts for 2% of GDP, and more than half of the products are exported. Only a very small part of the country is used for agriculture cultivation. The most important product is wheat. Also important is the cultivation of sugarcane, fruit, and wine. Larger areas are used as pasture land for sheep and cattle. The country is the second largest wool producer in the world, behind China. In addition, Australia is very rich in raw materials. The country is the third largest producer of gold and uranium in the world. In addition, there are larger deposits of coal, iron ore, and diamonds. Important pillars of Australian industry are the metalworking industry, mechanical engineering, the food industry, and construction. Finally, services account for over 60% of the economic output. These include information technology, financial services, the most important financial center is Sydney, media, and culture, logistics, retail, and also tourism. The most important country of origin for tourists are China and New Zealand. Popular destinations are Sydney and other major cities, as well as the natural landscapes, such as the Great Barrier Reef, Uluru, or the beaches in Gold Coast. The well-developed road network plays the most important role both in passenger traffic and in the transport of goods. In addition, the country has a railroad network. Worth mentioning here are the Trans-Australian Railway, which connects Sydney with Perth, and the Central Australian Railway, which runs from Adelaide to Darwin via Alice Springs. There is also a very dense air network with numerous airfields. The most important airports are Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. The most important ports are located in Brisbane, Sydney, and Fremantle. Here ends the overview of Australia. Thanks for watching and see you next time.